That first Sunday morning in Charlotte, North Carolina, the kingdom is near became a reality to me and my family. A 12-year-old boy knocked on our front door and asked if we were the Huffmans. He says, "My name is Jake, and I heard that you had a son named Bailey. Can I come in and meet him?" So there we were in a brand new city, ready to take the kingdom near, and God brought the kingdom to our home, to our front door. Jake helped us decorate that very first Christmas tree on that first Sunday morning, and I knew that everything had changed. God would show us things that we had never seen and tell us things that we had never heard. The kingdom is near, changed everything, and it still does. The next day, Matt knocked on our door and asked, "Are you the new preacher in the neighborhood?" Matt was Jake's dad. Proceeded to tell me that he was an atheist, but somehow he was excited that a preacher moved to his street because he had a lot of things that he wanted to talk to me, and talk is a nice word for saying argue with me about. I invited Matt into our home that Monday morning, and he invited us to his party that weekend. And we went. God was introducing us to the thems and the theys of this world, and he was showing us how much he loved them. God was revealing his kingdom to us, one person, one party, and one conversation at a time. God was showing us who he loved. The single mother with 7 kids under the age of 10 from 3 different fathers. The barista who slept in her car because she was afraid of her husband's physical abuse. The bank teller whose daddy was a preacher, but she was steeped with addiction and shame that came with that. Our Jewish neighbor who wanted me to pray with him over surgery, but asked me not to use the name of Jesus in my prayer, and I did. I honored. Eventually, he asked me to pray in the name of Jesus. Y'all, every one of these have names. They're not random stories I read about on the internet. These were our neighbors. These were our friends. They have names and they have faces. And because I love them so much, I'm just telling you about them, but I'm not sharing their names. But they have names, and so does your neighbor. So does your coworker. So does your son or your daughter. So does the person in your life that desperately needs you to bring the kingdom near. They have a name, and you should know it. Our Muslim friend who immigrated to the States at 18 to pursue a better life, but he could never find peace in the American dream. Our friend who grew up Catholic and now resented all things church, who somehow still proved to be our very best friend in the city. Our neighbor who grew up Christian and now practiced all things New Age and searched every day to find peace in her inner self. And then, of course, my atheist friend, Matt, who one day knocked on my back door and he came in swearing at me and he said these words, "Jay, I never once thought about God until you moved next door to me. And now I think about him every day." The kingdom is near, changes things.